Colonel, this sub was launched from the coast. Gondwana had to know about it.
So you're thinking that IHS is working with Gondwana?
They worked together, developed this new weapon, take out the GSA, then split up the territory.
I don't know. We've got spiders crawling all over the web, looking for bits of chatter. Never got a hint of anything like that. My gut says this is IHS all the way.
They've got robots doing welding here.
Are they hostile?
No. Looks like they're not.
Should be a control panel nearby. Activate the gate so you can access the first floor.
On it. Found a control panel. Opening gate.
Copy that, LT.
Typical.
Sit rep, Lieutenant.
Current's pouring through the gate. Can't advance.
Understood. Locate the computer that controls the vent system. Reprogram it to reverse the water flow.
On it, Colonel.
Hey look, right there, the computer that controls the vent system.
Located vent system computer.
Copy.
Ain't this a bitch?
Pierce?
Oh, nothing. Giant mechanical crab.
Seriously?
Hang on.
Welcome to the first boss fight, and it's a pretty tough boss fight, even on easy mode. It can kill you faster than you can blink. And it's thanks to those grenades it just launched at us. If those hit us, we're pretty much done for no matter what. The game does provide you with a rocket launcher to take it on, which is useful since none of our guns do very much damage to it. There are vents against the back wall that prevent us from just hiding behind the pillars the whole time. It's not a badly designed boss fight, really. It is intolerable on normal mode, though, like most of the boss battles. We don't want to fire the rocket launcher too rapidly because then we risk blowing ourselves up. A lot of easy ways to die here. It's also really easy for the boss to stun lock you with its smaller shots, so that way it gets a good hit in with its grenade. Again, not a badly designed boss fight. Especially for this game.
Technical compartments should be ahead.
Copy that. What about pressure?
Should be a decompression chamber nearby.
I'm looking.
What the fuck? No, fuck the cutscene. Did we just clone ourselves? What happened there? What is going on?
Decompressing.
Why are there two of us?
Pierce, come in.
Received.
These robotic hostiles. Could that be what IHS has been working on?
Makes sense.
Data points to something called Ichthys. Could be a powerful underwater weapon of some kind.
Ichthys. Sounds familiar.
Sign of the fish.
Some of the data I've uploaded, it describes a new energy source. Maybe that's what Sterling's been after this whole time.
Copy.
Found emergency generator. Initiating.
You might figure the emergency generators are turned off because no one is still alive. But as you're about to see, people are still very much alive in this submarine. So why weren't the emergency generators already turned on? I get they wanted to have an unorthodox and more unique method to open doors for this particular segment, but you gotta make it make sense still. I mean, presumably these guys are passing through doors with no problem. Do they just turn the generator off as soon as they step in the door? But no, that can't be the case because there's a generator in this next room that opens the door, and people were just walking through that door a few seconds ago. I didn't see them touch the generator. You might think I'm making too big a deal about it, but this isn't a situation where the game asks you to ignore something for the sake of game mechanics. It's just a door opening button that doesn't make sense.
Engaging now.
I kinda like the layout of this room, if only because they embrace the cramped hallway philosophy of their design entirely, by making it an actual cramped hallway. And as per norm, there are always more enemies than you would think there will be. For example, as soon as we exit this room, more enemies will have spawned right where we were. Yep, right over there. So on to something actually important. Still a good scream. Pierce said that the data he uploaded mentioned a brand new kind of energy source, something mysterious. And that might be what Sterling's after. Now, they could be using this energy source to power these new robot creatures that we're fighting. But that still leaves the question of what Ichthys is. Maybe Ichthys is another stun gun. Or maybe it's another robot creature. Maybe it is both of those things.
Gate opening. Multiple tangos.
Copy.
Something small here. He says multiple tangos, but there's only one. Really need to pay more attention to detail, guys. Not in the environment, in the story.
Entering reactor area.
Affirmative. Lieutenant, if the reactor has sustained any kind of damage, activating it could result in lethal contamination.
No choice. Can't turn back. Moving in.
Vaya con Dios.
Okay, I have many questions here. For what purpose are we turning on the reactor exactly?
Panel should be in the next room.
Why do we need to turn it on? If the reactor is somehow essential to the function of the ship or essential to our progress, shouldn't the bad guys have already turned it on? How did it turn off when it crashed? Was it already off before it crashed? If it's just a big battery for the ship, then really it should have been turned on already. There were guys just standing next to it.
Activating reactor. Ah, well, that's just perfect. Hostiles inbound. Contact. Armored operator.
Bringing it up. Amphibious Grenadier. Armored unit. Slow, heavy.
Roger, fire at
Carries
will.
a rocket launcher.
Copy.
As you might have guessed, the amphibious grenadiers are the most deadly enemy so far, but 2 alternate fire shots from our stun gun and they're down. Our stun gun ammo is pretty valuable though, so that's a big deal. Unfortunately, the grenadiers do not appear very often. They are a very rare enemy, which I'm not a fan of because they're kind of interesting, since headshots do not do extra damage to them.
Engaging the hostile.
We are being a little liberal with our stun gun ammo here, and that's because we're about to get rid of it for a new weapon. You might be able to guess what it is ahead of time. So, the reactor seemed to have trouble, or something. That was implied by the cutscene.
Engaging hostile.
But we never have to deal with the consequences of that. This room is actually kind of tough. If we didn't shoot that explosive barrel ahead of time, there would have been way more people shooting at us while that stealth operative tried to take us down. And we probably would have died. I guess it's kind of a neat room. But yeah, we never have to deal with the consequences of something apparently going wrong with the reactor. It does create a nice lighting effect in this room. Looks kind of pretty. I like that. I wish the game would think more about the events of its story. The story seems kind of ambitious in scope, but they didn't seem to think out the details too well. They knew to ask questions about the big things, just not the small ones. The frame rate is kind of tanking again. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's because of the reactor. Either way, we're not going to get any answers to the questions I've asked here, except for the one about Ichthus, but all the others no. So I hope you didn't want answers to any of those other questions. Because there are none.